What's up, teens? Mixed Christy here with another awesome book review for you guys. So, the next book review is actually the 2020 winner of the Asian Pacific Heritage or Asian Pacific Author Book Literature Award. One of those ways. It's actually the link that I sent you that I had on for last week's video. So the book that I have is the winner of the 2020, and it is They Called Us Enemy by George Takei. Um, we do have the ebook version, so I'll go ahead and put a link in the description below for that. And we also have the physical copy at the library, so if you want to wait until the library opens, you can totally check it out there. So, They Called Us Enemy. As probably some of my teens know, or probably most of you know who George Takei is. He is most known for his famous role in the Star Trek series as Hikaru Sulu. So that was a big thing back in, I think it was the 70s. I myself am not I don't really quite know Star Trek as much, but I do know George Takei. And if I am pronouncing his name wrong, I apologize. He tried to explain actually in the book here how to pronounce his last name. So this was actually a speech or like a talk that he did way back in like 2018. And it came out in a graphic novel form. So so it's about George Takei's life. And back in 1942, the kind of like the start of World War II, the United States was not in it yet, but it wasn't until December 7th, 1942, that the Japanese had bombed Pearl Harbor. And from there, a lot of the government, including the president, started to get prejudiced against the Japanese Americans that were staying in America. And because of this, and because of that fear, they started making laws about putting the Japanese Americans in camps. This is actually scarily starting to sound a little bit familiar to real life, but we're not going to get into that right now. So this is about George Takei and how he actually ended up going to one of those camps. Technically two camps, as explained in his graphic novel. But yes, he went to a Japanese American internment camp back in the 1940s. Like I said, he was very young. I think he was like 7 at the time. So a lot of the stuff that he talks about, he kind of still remembers it through the eyes of a child. And a lot of the artwork takes place when he was as a child. So he kind of just didn't understand what was happening until he started getting older and started having more serious talks with his father. And it kind of explains throughout the entire story is just about him dealing with prejudice, racism, things like that, and especially spending time in such a camp. And it was so good. I mean, I kind of recently learned about the Japanese internment camps. It's just one of those things like you never really heard of. I don't think I remember it learning in school. I feel like it would have been a big thing to learn about, and who knows if it's still even talked about in school. I certainly do not remember it, and I'm pretty sure a good portion of Americans do not know about it. So this is a great story to tell you what it was like in the camps, how it officially started, because also George Takei talks about the history of it, like who is in charge of it, who started it, who signed the paperwork, who did what and that. So it's an important story, and I think it raises a lot of questions of, are we starting to are we repeating history? And it does also touch on that a little bit towards the end. I don't want to give too much away, but yeah, it was really good. So I read it in the ebook version. And I don't know if it was color because my Kindle White is not colored. So I don't know if the graphic novel is actually covered. So I'm definitely gonna check this out once the library reopens back to make sure, because I feel like that if it was in color, I definitely missed out on a lot of symbolism based on the color choices that the artist would have used. So I myself would probably recommend waiting until you either find the physical copy or wait until the library opens to get the physical copy. But we do have it in ebook version, and I can see why it won this year's Asian Amer not Asian American, oh my god, Asian Pacific Literature Book Award. It blew my mind. I think I read it in 2 days because it was really really good. You know, there's so much history, and I know that George Takei is a huge activist for everything, and I know him as an actor, and he's a really really good actor. So I know him. He's done a lot of voices in a lot of shows that I've done. You know, he's in a couple of movies and things like that. So he's a well known actor, and to like hear this side of the story of him growing up in America because of this and how he came up on top is just amazing. And I cannot recommend this book enough. Like if you guys don't if you guys don't want to read it, that's your choice, but seriously, I it was really really good. And I don't want to give too much away, but it was phenomenal, stunning, and you learned so much about American history that way. So like I said, it's called They Called Us Enemy by George Takei. It's really really good. Um but I also have a huge long list of Asian Pacific books that I'm gonna go ahead and read. A whole bunch of them are ebooks. I have one that's an actual physical copy, so keep on a lookout for that. Um, so yeah, that's all I have for this video. If you could please throw it a like, throw in a comment as well as you want, and please subscribe to the Frankfurt Public Library YouTube channel. And then if you do decide to subscribe, make sure you click on the little bell that's right next to the subscribe button so you can get notifications of when other videos come up from the library. A lot of the other librarians are doing awesome videos as well, so please check those out and give them a like as well. You could also find us on Facebook by searching for the Frankfurt Public Library, and you can get tons of news that way as well. Um, so yeah, thanks for tuning into here, and like I said, give this book a try. It's really really good. But that's all I have, and I'll see you guys in the next chapter. Bye.